flavor like that. So sometimes you can get it shredded too, which this is shredded Parmesan. It's not quite as good. Always look on the rind of your Parmesan cheese, because if you purchase Parmesan cheese and you notice that the rind says, like in little dots, it'll say Parmigiano Reggiano on the edges, that's authentic. If those dots have lines horizontally going through the words, that means it was Parmesan, but when somebody thumped that giant wheel, they went, that doesn't sound right. It's lesser quality. And so you can get it cheaper, it still tastes good, but it's not quite perfect. And so if somebody's trying to sell you Parmesan, it's got rings going to that rind.
Somebody thumped it.
Yeah, yeah. They always thump them. They have these cute little metal hammers. They're like about this big, kind of like your knee hammers, you know, but without the triangle thing. It's just a little metal thing on the end. And they sound just right. And these old guys will be like, yep, no, yep, no. So, official Parmesan wheel thumpers.
Like I said, these little orange chips that I made, I didn't tell you how to do them. Slice your orange really thin, put it in some simple syrup. Simple syrup is equal parts sugar and water dissolved together. Let it soak for a little bit just to absorb some of the sweetness, and then bake them in a low oven below 300 degrees. And they won't get brown because the sugar won't caramelize, right? Because think about making caramel, so you have to take it up higher than that. But it'll dry out. And then you can just dust them in sugar while they're kind of a bit tacky, and they'll crisp up into this nice little chip, and you can eat the whole thing. How long does it take?
I don't know, like 15 minutes or something to bake them. It doesn't take very long. It depends. Skin and all.
Did you have to cook that sugar in water, or it's just you just mix the sugar?
I just put hot water in there and it mixes up for me and dissolves. Yeah, but you can.
How thick did that start out?
The sugar syrup or this?
That.
Oh, no, it was about this. It's barely thicker than this. I get very, very thin cutting it. I have a deli slicer, so I get to cheat.
So you just dip it in and then bake it?
Dip it in, let it soak for a little bit.
Okay.
If you're using a lemon or something like that, you want it to soak longer, thicker skin. It's going to be a little bit more bitter and sour. So then coat them with sugar when they're a bit tacky, just before you take them out. You don't want them to be perfectly dry when you touch them in the oven, and they'll dry completely, and they'll become hard and crisp. So you guys can cut these, and you can put a little triangle of that on the top. You could stick it up, or however you want to do it. This can also be cut that I had here, and I don't know how many of you were here, but I actually got 3 proposals after people had eaten that food. So hopefully tonight you guys will be able to pick. I know, but 2 of them were married, and one of them, he wasn't so sure he was ready yet.
One was one.
Yeah, and this guy was one of them, so it looked front and center. What? No, I didn't get any from women. Likes garlic here pretty well, right? Is there anybody that's opposed to having a little extra garlic? Okay, fantastic. Did you know garlic's an aphrodisiac?
No, is it really?
So is everything else and its dog, but supposedly it gives you breath. It gives you breath that is an aphrodisiac kind of scent. I don't know who came up with garlic breath being an aphrodisiac, but that's what I read.
Loves to eat.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
So this recipe calls for cod. Could you use shrimps in place of the cod?
Oh, definitely. In fact, shrimp is a very typical Mexican ceviche meat that's used. Also, like mackerel and a few other things. So you can even use scallop. I mean, any fish, really.
And you would just use it the exact same way that this
Yep.
recipe
Or if you're
calls
using a scallop, I saw your eyes light up.
Yeah.
Then you can just shave that scallop so it's nice thin rounds, and it makes beautiful presentation. Squid also perfect. So you could have scallop rounds and squid rings and little teeny tentacles, you know. So it's really beautiful, whatever you're into. I find that cod is affordable. You can find it everywhere, and it works really well. Flavor too, so it's nice to have a good balance of all of those. Where are my tasting spoons?
Delicious.
Oh, it doesn't need anything, so we're good. I'm sorry, I speak like a pubescent boy. So here I have some red peppers that I've roasted in the oven. You can buy fire roasted bell peppers like in a jar, but really they're so expensive that way, and they're packed with oil. It's kind of a waste. So if you just take a bell pepper, which I got these for like 69 cents a piece. They're on sale right now.
I was gonna say, they're right on sale.
Yeah. I think they're a little more in season right now, because usually the season is $2 a friggin' piece. So you can take these, rub them with just a little bit of oil, something neutral. neutral, kind of like a vegetable oil. You could use olive oil if you use a small amount. And that will help conduct the heat on the skin so that they burn in different places on where they're touching and then on the very top of your oven. And just preheat it to like 400 or something or broil and watch them here